Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. I am not going to get through all the Operation Monster Force releases before Halloween, but that's okay. There's plenty more to come. Today we're looking at Doctor Caligari, number 14 in the line. I'm not really reviewing these in order, certainly not numeric order, just in the order of how I want to open them up. Although I am trying to get a couple of the spookier ones out of the way. Next week we'll be looking at the general and some of the ones that are less, directly creepy and spooky. You've got that one-page comic that kind of gives a little background on Dr. Caligari. The very, very classy packaging that we have here that I am stacking up until the day that I decide I do actually have to throw it all out because I don't have space for it. But it's very nice packaging, and it always irritates me slightly when a company makes something, makes the packaging a little too nice, because then it does sit around and I just have to one day decide, oh, it's got to go. It's much easier when it's cheap, lousy packaging that I have no problem throwing away. Something that I've missed on the first few reviews, they do have the credits on the back of the packaging in the same way that NECA does. So you've got created by Sean Rourke and Bill Murphy, which I have a great interview with Sean and Bill on the Needless Things podcast. Art direction by Chris Scott, who we know from Grindhouse Toys, who's also been on the show several times. 3D renders by Adrian Melton. Packaging design by Brian Sauer. And logo design Scott Solo. So we've got the credits on there, which I really appreciate. As I mentioned, packaging is quite nice. Cardboard is very thick to the point where it's a little difficult to get that flap out. Dr. Caligari, brain in a jar. Love it. I'm a big fan of, I guess, building on tropes would be a way to put it. Expanding on tropes, developing them into something different. We love brain in a jar, villains, guys, characters, whatever. But this is something, it's being done in a way that we haven't seen before. And it is, I think that's what I like so much, or one of the things I like so much about Operation Monster Force is the use of those familiar things, but it is all so clearly branded Operation Monster Force. There's no confusion, like it's immediately recognizable as, oh, this is that line. They've given it all. It's like a good cover song, really. Like the best cover songs are not direct recreations of the song. It's a performance of the song where you recognize it, but it obviously has that band's style on it. Like those are the best covers. All right. This is beautiful. Look at all of the detail on this unit. I suppose this is all what's keeping the brain alive. And I wonder, I'm not going to push too hard, so I'm sure people will let me know in the comments later on if this is removable. It seems to be permanently attached, which I'm fine with. I don't need this to open. But it's one of those things where you're like, it might. But feel free to let me know in the comments if you were willing to go at it a little harder than I was and find out. Look at this very Red Shadows looking insignias. This is a new long coat design. Looks great. Complements the previous Sleepwalker soldiers that we got very well. Check out the reviews right here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Those went up around this time last year. And again, just the nice quality plastic. Everything feels good. All the joints move well. Nice ratcheting joints. And the ratchets, well, I was going to say sit in the right spots. There we go. All right. That's something you run into a lot with well, really any scale, is that you might have ratcheting joints in those ankles, but sometimes the ratchet is not sitting in the right spot for the figure to stand properly, which kind of drives me crazy. Got a high style boot there. Very plain, I think cavalry boot maybe would be the term for that. Great treads on the bottom, always a fan of that. And this is a nice soft plastic right here, so you still have a good range. Interesting that they went with the split on the side. I'm not sure how I would have done this because this is a long coat, and the split up the side kind of goes against the design of it. Like, it seems like the split should be here and, here, which obviously wouldn't provide the same range of motion, but I don't know. I've got to kind of think about how I feel about the side split as opposed to a front and back split. And I wonder what the reasoning was for that. Maybe we'll get Bill back on the show soon and we can talk about that design choice. Obviously, from the front, that looks better than having... Well, I don't know. This isn't a very significant... I mean, they have kept the profile of that split about as narrow as it could be. But I don't, if that was just right here, I don't know that that would look significantly worse than what we have here. Although this is a nice, clean line right here. I've got an armband that is a separate piece because these are the same arms we've seen used before. The Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Workshop have been very clever about parts reuse in this line, in my opinion. We do have a backpack hole, even though this character won't need it. We'll be talking about one very, very soon that will. So let's take a look at the accessories that came with Doctor Caligari, who, by the way, is the Doctor Caligari that you might be thinking of, and is responsible for the creation of the Sleepwalker troopers that we see in Operation Monster Force. We've got a wide assortment of alternate hands, some gesturing hands, fist for punching, C-grips, and a pointing finger. Pointing finger is always, to me, a must-have for any villainous leader type. Well, really, any leader type. Good thing to have. We've got a great blaster, very steampunky, looks a lot like... and I think I mentioned it last year when I did the reviews. There was a line put out by... it was distributed, I think, by Sideshow Collectibles through Weta, and it was a line of blasters, armaments, whatever, in this style. They're Dr. Wacky Names, blasters of electric collusion or something. So it had some wild name like that. They're worth Googling. I think if you look up Weta Steampunk, you'll probably find them. But this is along those lines. It's a great hand blaster. I think it's awesome. It's got a port for blast effects, which we'll take a look at what those interact with in a minute. And then we've got a nice little briefcase that, it's got a little rattle there, so there's something inside. Oh, what do we got? I've got a couple of canisters, and they appear to be hinged. Or maybe not. That might just be deco. Nope. Well, they're not hinged, but look at this. Holy cow. Wow. How cool is that? These are, if you've seen... Oh, man, what's the Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery movie where they're on Alcatraz? My memory is failing me, but that's 100% what this is. That is so cool. Now, this does... Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. All right. This is going to drive me nuts. I cannot wait to see the comments that tell me what the name of that movie is. I can't believe I can't remember it because I dig that movie. Michael Bay. So the contagion or disease or whatever that the bad guys are attempting was it Ed Harris, I think, are attempting to unleash upon the world. This is basically that. And I certainly never imagined I would have a toy of that. Holy cow, that's amazing. I mean, these might be accessory of the year. This is great. And look at the way they fit in here. Oh, The Rock. The Rock is the name of the movie. It's that specific that the lids fit in there. And I wish... Do I have my flashlight in here? Yes, I do. Look at that. Look at the green. That nice translucent plastic. Oh, this is beautiful. I think this is accessory of the year, which is not a category I've ever really honored before. Look at just the craftsmanship on this is incredible. Nothing I've really ever mentioned before, but these are beautiful. This is great. Honestly, what a dream accessory. And if they want to put some likenesses that are definitely not Nicolas Cage or Sean Connery or Ed Harris in this line, I mean, who would complain about that? What I will kind of complain about is that doesn't snap shut. It just sits there, which seems like not the best design. Because look, you can see right here, it's just kind of sitting open a little bit. There's no closure to this. I do love that hinged handle, though. That's a nice touch. That really does seem like an oversight to not even have, that lip maybe a little higher to just get some friction to hold it shut. But otherwise, fantastic. And these, I mean, are incredible. Also got a little zap effect, electricity effect. Oh, 2 electricity effects for the blaster. However you want to use those. Oh, that actually plugs through. I know I've seen this before, but it's been a year. So this piece plugs through that piece to give you an even more dramatic electrical zapper effect. Very cool. And then finally, we've got the display stand, which, as I've said in every one of these reviews, I'm not really a fan of display stands. However, I really like the way that Fresh Monkey Fiction has done these. I think they're classy. They look nice. The figures stand on them very nicely. So until I run out of space, which will probably be when the Crimson Shadows arrive, until I run out of space on the shelf and the stands are not, it doesn't make sense to use them anymore, I'm going to keep displaying them with those stands. Gosh, this figure is great. And it's funny to look at something with this beautiful design and say it's simple, but it really is one of the simpler Operation Monster Force figures. Despite that beautiful head and the incredible accessory, which I realize I'm neglecting to put on the figure right now, but this is purely for thumbnail purposes. This beautiful figure is one of the simpler figures in the Operation Monster Force line, despite this incredible head. And I think that says a whole lot about the line. I love this little, I know what I said earlier, but clearly this is Crimson Moon and not related to anything else. Beautiful figure, must have. This is a great action figure, not just Operation Monster Force, but just this kind of thing is what you want on your shelf. It's weird, it's unique, it's a great use of, everything that we've learned in the past 80 years about toy making. So go out and get yourself a Dr. Caligari. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about needless things. Share a video. I mentioned share, but share something. If you see something you like, share it, whether it's the podcast, one of these reviews, or whatever. And until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.